Don't care. It's working.
Oh
Awesome.
my God, I don't believe it.
Awesome. I don't believe it either. Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 332, and a day late for you live viewers, but we got it working now. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace, and in this show, Rob has a review. We'll be discussing a new 320 lasers, new suppressors, maybe some 380 ammo. I don't know, whatever works. So with me tonight, of course, are Rob, Tony, and Zane. Since we have not been on in 2 weeks, what did you guys do in firearms?
Well, I didn't touch a gun. Well, actually, I did. I went to Heritage Guild in Pennsylvania and actually checked out some stuff there and set up the next diversity shoot for August 20th. So that's what I did in the last 2 weeks.
Gotcha. Zane, Rob?
I did very little in guns. I was on vacation for like 10 days. So I didn't do, I mean, I carried a gun every day, but that's about the extent of it. I did, however, go axe throwing. And since Chad loves bringing up axes on the show, I figure that's somehow related. I went to this place where you can drink alcohol and throw axes at the same time.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah, that's like really great.
But it was a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Now, my question is, did anybody lose a limb or did anybody hurt themselves throwing these axes while they were drunk?
Nope.
Oh, my God, I don't believe it.
Nobody got hurt.
That's a good deal.
Meanwhile, how many people get hurt every year just cutting trees in their yard without alcohol?
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's true.
It's true. Let's see. A couple weeks ago, I did make it to the range. I was just, working on just normal everyday stuff. Single shot drills from a sling, stuff like that. I did install a set of sights. I got them. They're Angry Bear arms. They're not they're suppressor height. They're RMR height, whatever you want to call them. They're on this pistol. The front's fiber optics. The rear's just black. They are serrated. Pretty cool. I think they run like $45. So good deal for made in the USA steel sights if you need some for your pistol that has a optic or something on it. That's pretty much about what I did and fought the show yesterday, so we didn't have it. So go to the Gun and Gear Cult, pledge your support for us. We got a bunch of different levels over there. We got some stickers coming in one of these days, so I can send them out to the people that support us. Bandwidth sponsor, of course, is our buddies at Patriot Patch Co. You can go order new stuff, which I see that they keep putting up. Also join the Patch of the Month Club over there. If you are shopping Amazon, of course, use the firearmsradio.tv/Amazon affiliate. If you would like to use our Matador Arms or Amend 2 affiliates, they are on the website or in the show notes. So that would be appreciated too. And since Rob made it and he skipped out on how to grill meat or something to be here, we'll let him read the disclaimer.
I skipped out on a nice herf from Gurkha Cigars where they were doing a grilling demonstration from a very reputable chef down in South Miami. Anyways, since I'm here, the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are not those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows when Rob has skipped a good herf to join these schmucks talking about crap.
I definitely think you added a word in there somewhere.
Maybe. Doesn't matter.
I said those are not those. These are those of the hosts. So what we say is our opinion and not those of the Firearms Radio Network.
Y'all get the idea.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I would actually be amazed if I got through the bloody thing without screwing it up. So
you do once in a while, and once in a while. The amazing part is we read the same thing week in week. I read the intro pretty much, and I've screwed it up. You screw stuff up. It's like, Hey, it doesn't matter. It happens.
Yeah.
Exactly. And since you're here, you have a product review for us.
Yeah, since I didn't do a whole heck of a lot, because you kind of skipped over me. I did the iScope review. Now this is 2 scope systems I reviewed. One is designed for a spotting scope. One is designed for a rifle scope. The there's a small difference. The rifle scope one has a little adjustable where you can move the camera, your phone, closer to or further from the focal point of the scope. Anyways, I first picked these up a couple years ago at the NRA. I've been using them pretty steady, and I decided to write a review. And basically, what they are is a way to adapt a cell phone camera to a scope so you can either just look at it using your cell phone without having to squint your eye over the scope, or take pictures with your cell phone or video or what have you. Most of the ones I found online are set up mainly for people that are cool and love to run iPhones. I run Androids, so I found very few that actually work for me. This one I said, ooh, this is cool. I got to buy one. And I bought one for the rifle scope, and I bought one for the spotting scope. Real easy to install. It's basically, there's 2 screws. One of them controls a pair of clamps that clamp down on your phone, and you just move. And there's another one where you can move it left and right, and you move your phone up and down to get the Y-axis. So I basically found the easiest way to set it up is you set up your phone where the camera, with the camera lens on your phone, is centered around the little hole in the adapter. Then you screw the adapter onto the scope. Now there's 4 screws on the adapter. You want to screw them in equally so you get that adapter aperture, the hole in the adapter, centered on the what do they call the output, the
Objective or
ocular, the objective or
the
ocular lens of the scope. Boom, boom, boom. Then you tighten everything down. You're good to go. I first started mainly using this through my my spotting scope, and what I found is I take a picture and the darn thing will look a little bit blurry. Well, I figured out why. As I was touching the screen of the phone to take the picture, and it was just kind of jostling around just a little bit and made it a little blurry. So I turned on the 3-second shot timer, the little delay. Boom, 3, 2, 1, takes a picture. Nice, clean, clear picture. And that worked really good. This thing has worked awesome on spotting scopes because I can sit there at the rifle range with the thing zoomed out to 200 yards, take a shot, look at it, see where the shot went, take another shot, see where that shot went, take another shot, see where that shot went. And that's been a really great asset because what I'll do is I'll take a shot, look at it, take a picture. And I'm not worried about it because I just took a crap old phone that I had that they were getting like $5 for. I said, I'll keep it. And I take it to the range. And it's like, who cares if I drop it, bang it up, whatever. And I just take the pictures. And then when I get home, I've got, the Google Drive. It'll upload them to your computer, and I can sit there, zoom in, look, and see the shot placement, the sequence of my shots, how they worked out, so I can document that in my notebook that I have where I track my my rifle rounds and my rifle shooting. And I've really enjoyed the one for the spotting scope, and it works really good because it's just a straight up mount it on there, boom, you're done. It's the simpler of the two. Now I do put a note in the review that this is basically as good as your tripod, your scope, and your scope mount. I mean, and your camera. I mean, if you're running a crappy tripod and it's windy, you might not get good pictures. If you're running an older phone like I am, but it's still a pretty decent phone. It's only 3 years old, I think. So, and there's some pictures on the review about they show you how the pictures I took, the way they took, and those are just right off of the camera from the scope. And most of those I think are at the 200-yard mark at the Okeechobee range. Let's see. Scrolling down, the one for the rifle, I really didn't like it. And it's because the rifle scope is set up where you can slide it in and out to get it closer or further away from the objective lens on the scope. And I could never get it set up where I could get a decent picture, especially in the sun. I tried everything. They come with, sell you a kit with rubber bands. I've tried them to block out the extra sun. I've tried sunshades. You'll see a picture on the review if you look at it where you see the rifle crosshairs and you see this like ghost ring around it. Well, that's basically the part of the eye scope that slides in and out, and I found no way to get rid of that. It kind of drove me nuts. I really didn't see the use in it. It's a decent idea, but I don't know if it'll actually work out really well on a rifle scope. Plus, if you look at that, you're going to take that and they show pictures on their website of people going in the woods and hunting with it and this, that, and the other. Well, I tried it. I looked at the camera or my cell phone while I was taking pictures through the scope, and it looked weird to me to have my cheek on the stock and looking at a camera that's maybe 3 to 4 inches in front of my face. And I said that it just didn't work out. Plus, when I go in the woods, I swing the rifle on my back, walk around, do my thing. If you've got the camera on there or your cell phone on there with the eye scope adapter, it's going to get snug on trees, branches, whatever the heck. And not only that, but if you're carrying a backpack, it's going to get jostled and banged up with the backpack. So the other thing you do is get to the woods, and then you got to put it on and set it all up. And interesting idea, just not a practical concept in my opinion. And you can see the picture. Just take a look at it. But the pictures I got again from the spotting scope, awesome. The big downfall I found of this is on the 4 little screws you screw in to attach or secure the eye spotter to your scope. They've got a little pad in there to keep the screws from marking up or digging into your scope. Well, those pads, every time I take it in, take it off, they fall off because they're basically a nylon gasket or nylon washer with some felt applied to them. Well, this kit they sell for $14.99 when you can find it comes with 8 of those adapters and 6 rubber bands. That's a lot of bloody money for 8 nylon washers, some felt, and some rubber bands. I went down to Home Depot. I'm like, you can buy 4 of those same washers for 99 cents. Find some felt around your house. I mean, I got some left over from that patch project I did, the patch wall that I made. And you can go home, glue them up together, boom, you're done, have a nice day, and you save yourself, 14, $12, $13. And that's what I would recommend, but I know they're not going to say that. What I learned from using this, you definitely use the countdown delay timer on your phone. If the holder activates the button, that's another thing I found, is I had another phone that I used, and the clamps would activate the shutter button on my phone, so I just start click, 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 just taking pictures. Well, I found if I took a toothpick and put it right next to the shutter button to keep the clamp from pressing down on the button, that would stop it. It would just totally stop it, because every phone, every manufacturer makes their own different things. So that's a really cheap way I found to stop it from taking those sequential pictures. Again, taking the sequential pictures, it worked out really, really good, where I can go home and I can say, okay, first shot was here, second shot was there, third shot was there, fourth shot was there, and I can see how my shooting's been progressing at that range session. Because a lot of times you get home, you got the target, you're like, okay, what was the sequence that I shot these targets in? The timeout feature on the phones, especially when you're at the range, unless you're doing a lot of sequential picture taking, some of them will go to sleep. So I just deactivated that feature. Again, overall, the eye spotter is a great addition to my range bag. I take it every time I do any kind of long range shooting. The eye scope, which is the one that mounts to your scope, I just don't see a use for it, or in my opinion, it's not something I'd care to use. Okay, go to the 8 key points. Claim to fame: universal phone adapter for spotting scopes, and it works real good for spotting scopes. Target market: anyone who wants to use their cell phone to take pictures through their scope. Features and benefits: it fits a wide range of phones, which is great because, like I said, I got an iPhone or I got an Apple or Android. So, and everybody knows no Android is the same. Everybody makes different phones. Everybody does their own thing. So it works for a lot of different phones. It fits a wide range of scopes. Now, I've got my main scope that I use for spotting is the Vortex Scope. So, and that's about as big as you can get in there. So if you got a really, really big aperture on your scope, it might not fit. easy setup. You can easily take photos through your scope. And again, when I'm at the range and I was in the prone position, I don't think I took any pictures, but it's like I'll take a shot and I can look over right at my phone, see where the shot went, next picture. And plus, like my phones, you can usually use your pinch to zoom to zoom in on the photo you took, which is great. Any colors or aesthetic options? Yeah, black. That's it. Others are saying I put a review in there. It's from their website. That's the only one I could find online. So I usually take stuff off manufacturer's website with a grain of salt because I don't care what they say. They will delete bad reviews from their website. Link to other reviews, again, nothing found. The price point, the eye scope, the one that fits on a rifle scope is $140. The eye spotter, the one that fits on your spotting scope, is $120. Again, I'd go with the spotter and skip the scope. You can only buy them from what I've seen from their website. Pros are pretty much the same. Wide range of scopes, phones. It supports, can take photos. The targets while you're at the range, and you don't need to squint through the eyepiece of your scope to view the target. Cons, the screw caps are easily lost, and they're insanely costly to replace. And the eye scope is not as useful as advertised. I gave the eye scope a 6.0, and okay. I don't know if I'd recommend buying it. The eye spotter, I gave it an 8.5. Great. I didn't give it anything above that because those little pads that fit on their screws, those things fall off, and I've lost about 3 or 4 of them, and replacing them with their hardware kit is a pain in the butt. So that's why I say go to Home Depot and make your own. And that's my review. I've got a lot more in the review. If you're interested in reading it, take a look at it. But in the interest of time, because we got a bunch of other stuff to talk about.
Hey, you can take as much time as you want, but yeah,
Good.
Thanks for that review. Yeah, I actually, when I was posting it up, I was like, oh, I see what he's saying. I mean, to me, I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Yeah, I understand the scope one, it's like, yeah, okay. But the spotter one, that makes, I mean, I was like, oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what does sound good. And for the same reasons you use it. I mean, yeah, it would be cool for videos or anything else, but really to run back through the sequence of how your rounds hit the target. Because you remember, or you feel, I mean, we used to have the book that we wrote everything in when I was in the Corps, where your shots landed and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to track that.
Yep.
With your dope book.
Yeah. And well, what I do is when I go home, I've got my dope book. I still have a dope book. And I'll sit there and write the crosshair. I'll go, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now also, too, now you got the photos on your phone or on your Google Drive or whatever the iPhone equivalent is. You can take them, download them to your computer, and you can mark them up and say, okay, this is the order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then save that file so you've got it for future reference.
Yep.
I mean, again, I will go with the eye spotter. I would not go with the eye scope.
Hey.
So that's just my opinion. And I guess I've bored Zane to death. He's got to be asleep or something.
Oh, probably. I don't think he can see past like 10 yards, so it doesn't matter.
Nah, I'm tracking.
But I mean, the nice thing about it too is I can just shoot. I don't even have to move. If you see the pictures that when I'm at the range from the prone position, I got the
spotting
tactical
scope.
tripod I reviewed last week. I rotate the scope to 90 degrees, and I just look. I can see the picture. Bang, next, and I can see the picture. I don't have to
put your eye up to the scope. Yeah.
Well, before what you have to do is you have to put the gun down, walk over or move over, look at the scope, and then go back to the gun.
Right.
So you don't have to adjust your natural point of aim. You don't have to get out of you don't have
exactly.
to really even break your cheek weld if you've got it set up right.
Especially if you're in the prone position, you can just glance over, see where you hit, and go right back to shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I like the idea.
Me too.
Yeah, good idea.
I didn't think it'd be handy until I started getting into long-range shooting. I took that course last year and a half ago, and then you go on the range and you're by yourself and you don't have a spotter, and you're like, oh crap! Now I got to do all this stuff by myself. So.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I see a use for it. So I like that review. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
Chad.
Now we will get into the product spotlight and discussion. See, I can't even get through 3 words. And first up, we have the Zev Z320X Carry Octane. MSRP is $12.99. So basically what this is Zev has collaborated some way with SIG on their P320X carry. Basically, they put a bunch of their parts on it and sell it. Weight is 22.3 ounces. It is 9 millimeter. It includes the Zev Z320 octane slide with an RMR cut in titanium gray. It has their X Carry Pro barrel, black DLC coated. It comes with the fiber optic combat sight set from Zev. It does come with an RMR cover plate, so that there is that. It does have the Sig Sauer X Carry grip, but Zev puts a diamond pattern laser stipple in it. And then it has the P320 series flat face trigger. It does come with two 15 round magazines for your information. I think it's okay as far as what they're doing with it. I mean, it's just kind of like what everybody does with the Glocks. They customize them. They come out with parts for them. This is Zev's pistol. It's a good looking pistol, I think. What's a normal X carry cost? Like $850 or something? I don't really know offhand, but if you want to fork out the money, I'm sure it's probably a decent 320. So it is, zev'd out basically. I was waiting for Zane to say something.
Yeah, so I was trying to find my mute button. I mean, if you're a SIG guy and you're a Zev guy, this gun's right up your alley. It's just like with all the Gucci guns, right? If you're an agency fan and you're a Glock fan, you like agency Glocks. If you're a Zev fan, that's fine. I do like the fact they cut it for an RMR and not SIG's optic. That's really the biggest thing I see here is that if you get it from SIG, you're kind of stuck with a SIG optic footprint, which I have not seen the best durability from. So that's cool. And honestly, if you're going to upgrade the gun yourself, you're probably going to spend this anyways. I'm not a huge fan of Zev. I've ran one of their connectors and a spring kit from them once, and I wasn't really extremely impressed, but I know some people really like them. Whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, some people like them. It's Gucci.
In my opinion, if you want a Gucci gun, buy a Gucci gun. That's the only thing that's going to make you happy. But when it comes to those people that look at it and go, well, why would I spend this money? If you're not already not geared up, but already prepared to spend that money, I don't see anything here that would convince me to spend that money. I can buy because SIG learned from Ruger. Find out what all the people are doing with your gun to make it Gucci, and then do it at your factory and sell it yourself. And pretty much that's what they did with their X Carry. I know it works with their Romeo 1 and their Romeo 5. I think is it Romeo 5?
I think that might be one of them.
Well, anyway, they have it set up for their stuff, but truthfully, you can get a slide and have it cut for any RMR you want because lots of companies sells them. I think Grey Ghost Precision sells them. Wilson Combat sells them. So you can do that. You still can get the Grey Ghost. What was this company name? Grey something trigger. You can get all the upgrades you want.
Bruce Gray's trigger from
I can't think the name of his company, but I looked it up.
Gray Guns, I think, is all it is.
It's $145 or maybe even less to buy one of their triggers for this guy. So, I mean, you can tune up your regular P320, or you can get the P320 carry, throw SIG's light on it, and you'll still have a straight trigger. You just won't have that trigger. And with a small investment, you put that trigger in. So it's all.
And you can do it over time that way, and not have to spin on. But the other thing with it is, by the time you put a, match barrel in, and then get a new slide that's cut for an optic that doesn't kind of suck, and you put the trigger in, you're probably about up to this price now. So
right, and some people
the coin.
But again,
you can do it over time.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I got you. I got you.
Yeah. And
so no, I'm not pooping on Gucci guns. Good, buy one. They'll probably lose some value if you go to sell it, just like anything else. But just look at that money you lost as a rental fee and how much you did put, rounds down range and how much fun you had with it. Hey, renting a gun depends on where you go. Is $65 a day. So if you shoot it for a year, put a couple thousand rounds in it, call it even.
Yeah, I mean, this I look at this and say, okay, this is for people that don't want to, add on parts gradually, or maybe, like me, I'd rather have instead of buying something like this, I would personally rather have the base model, and then I would get the upgrades I want, maybe from them or from other people, to build the Gucci gun myself. But to each their own. Some people would rather just go out and buy it. So fine.
But
whatever.
understand, when you buying that Gucci model, when you buying the one that has all the slide cuts and everything, that is not the same gun the Army acquired.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have that round count. It didn't meet those requirements. That this is something done aftermarket.
Yep.
Oh yeah, totally.
Exactly. So I guess we pretty much covered the Zev Z320X Carry Octane. They do have a full size version too, for same price. Not that it is, so if you'd rather have that than the compact. Next up, it looks like Viridian came out with a grip laser for the Magnum frame North American Arm mini revolvers. MSRP is $199. I like the NAA mini Magnum revolvers, but I just like them. It's literally, the sights on them suck. So the grip laser I can see as an actual benefit, and I'm not big on lasers. But, hey, to each their own. I think it makes it look kind of funny. But if you want a laser on it as some sort of fun toy, or maybe even you could sight it in and actually be somewhat accurate with it. I mean, they're still a single action revolver, so it's not like you're going to shoot them fast. I mean, some people could, but they're still tiny. But I have one of them in just non-Magnum, just in 22 long rifle, and you can shoot it pretty accurately without a laser. I mean, you can hit steel like 8-inch plates at like 15 yards without much problem. So, who knows? It's to each their own again.
I mean, they're cool. The NAA revolvers are a cool toy. I've got one, and yeah, they're not good much beyond 10 to 15 yards, but they're fun. They're a fun range toy. They're fun to play with. They're fun to shoot.
Exactly.
Would I spend $200 for a laser sight? I mean, that's about the price of the gun.
Yeah, I know. I personally, I don't know if I would. Now, maybe if I lived on a farm and I carried that in my pocket to shoot like rats in the barn.
No, the NAAs they come with a belt buckle. You strap the gun into the belt
Not
buckle.
the Magnums though. I mean, I'm talking. You're shooting rats in the barn, so the laser makes life a little easier.
Now,
you can shoot from the hip.
I know one guy who actually used this as NAA as a backup gun and got involved in a self-defense shooting and had to go for it. It was the folding one. What is it, the Black Widow?
Yeah, I think that's which one it is.
And by the time he got it out, the guy, he did a New York reload. He had a 1911. He emptied the 1911, dropped one bad guy, put rounds through another bad guy, but bad guy number 2 was still coming. So he goes, either I can do a reload with the single mag, and he had a cheap mag holder that fell down his pants leg.
Okay, that explains it.
So that was gone.
Oops.
So he reached in his pocket to get his NAA and unfolded it, and by then the guy shoved him out of the way and ran out of the door. So I mean, it's cool that this laser's on, and if you want to have fun at the range, if you want to shoot mice or rats, like you said, but understand your chances of getting this sucker out and into the fight, and then when you do, you still have a 22 single action that's really, really small and really hard to shoot.
Right. It is a 22 Magnum. That helps a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But all the control surfaces
not
are
out of
small.
that Not out of that barrel length, it doesn't.
Yeah.
1.5
What, an inch
inch.
and
Yeah.
7/8 barrel?
No.
Yeah.
What do you
So
mean? I thought
anyway,
it was still like a 5.7.
so, nice. So go ahead and get it. Do what you want. Have fun with it. Not saying don't, but just keep realism in mind and what you'll be using it for.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I'm like, hey, we'll stick it in there. Somebody might want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So I guess we're
I
done
could
with
not
the
care less about lasers or in NAA revolvers
or 22s.
Yeah, but if you do that,
or
don't you have to do
22s.
your Doctor Evil impression fire the laser?
Well, I just have
Yeah.
to laugh
It's
because
a freaking laser.
if the 22 is 223 and it's a maul stuck on the end of a rifle, he's all in love with it and breathing heavy. So same thing, just bigger.
So that
But
was
is
the
it
laser.
though? But
Yes.
Yes.
is it though?
Yes. Yes, it's a
Zane,
22
Zane.
with a laser.
I could agree with you, but then we'd just both be wrong. So
Because this was not being about
Dang.
being wrong or right. Yes, that was the Viridian Crypt laser for the NA Magnum pistols. Now we have something that we might actually be able to discuss, and I didn't put one singular product in here. I put them all because it makes more sense.
It's a whole line.
Yeah. So, company Stealth Project Suppressors. MSRP is for $369 to $969. What it is I don't know how long they've been around, but I think they're fairly new. They designed a new style of suppressor, I guess. Don't quote me on that because this style of suppressor may go back to the 1800s for all I know. But what it is they use a canted helical design. They say it can help with gas blowback. The design eliminates problems with traditional suppressors. It says single act attenuation chamber to control muzzle blast. Okay. It's a one-piece core, which makes it simple. They say it dissipates heat fairly well without multiple baffle chambers. The whole length is one spot, decreasing hot spots to help. They say it helps with baffle strikes. Well, yeah, because it's not going to strike one baffle. It's going to hit the whole thing, but that's my opinion. Now, here's the thing that I'm curious about. They say because of this helical system they're using that it is a self-tightening design. So if you've ever shot screw-on suppressors, they can come loose. Well, this one supposedly because of the way the gas is going through the suppressor, it creates a rotational force that helps tighten the suppressor on. That is kind of cool, I think, if it works. The rest of it, they say it's fast heat dissipation because of larger surface areas. That's basically what they're saying about it. The models, they make aluminum and then titanium ones. They have a rimfire one, which of course is cheapest. They have a 308 aluminum, which, is for certain applications. A Magnum suppressor and a Stealth a 556 in aluminum. And then they also have basically those models in titanium. I think they still have 556, 308. Yes, basically one of the 308s is a QD, and also the titanium 556 one is also comes. You can either get the 556 or 308 in QD or screw on. They do not have the 22 suppressor in the non-aluminum version, which it's a 22 suppressor. I'm going to go look at this to see. I think the titanium ones are rated for full auto fire. Like I said, don't quote me on that. It does not say. They give some decibel ratings and stuff like that. I don't notice if the 22 one says it's full auto or not, but it does work on 17 HMR, 5.7, 22 WMR, stuff like that. They're pretty light, either ones of them. Looks like they have decent decibel ratings, but we all know the decibel ratings are not exactly what they say they are. You really have to hear them. So that's pretty much how the stealth project suppressors work. I'd be really curious to hear one and see if they shoot one to see if they actually loosen up or not. But and the prices don't seem out of line with other manufacturers.
Now, see, I know very little about suppressors except what I've actually heard. And I'm taking it back to, suppressor shoots where I went out and we saw different manufacturers had different ones. And again, this is just from my totally ignorant outlook. Decibels are one thing, but tone is another.
Yes.
And it can seem a lot louder, even though it's adhering safe. I mean, I've heard someone shooting 230 grain 45s, and it hurt my ears through a suppressor.
Yeah.
And then the other two companies were there, and they were shooting 45s out of their cans, and it was much quieter. And again, I'm assuming the decibel level was about the same between them all. It was just, it sounded different. What sucks about a new suppressor company like this, with their new ideas and everything, is that it takes so darn long to get your thing. So now you're spending as much as you would on some other companies that already have a reputation as being decent. But you still have to wait 6 months to a year to get your darn thing and even find out if they live up to their reputation. And that kind of sucks. Like, why would you go with Stealth Project, Stealth Project, instead of a Gem Tech or Yankee Hill or a Silence & Co.
Right.
And it's like,
right.
Why would you?
Unless your dealer has them that you can hear the difference on, then I can understand it. But being new, that's hard. So we can hope it works. Who knows?
Oh, I hope it works. Definitely. Go ahead.
The nice thing about the 22 one is it's certified or rated for 22 long rifle, Winchester Magnum, 17 HMR, and 5.7. There's a lot of 22 silencers that are not rated for 5.7 round.
Yeah.
So. And I don't see where it says it's full auto. So
yeah, I couldn't find
22 is not.
I couldn't find that anywhere. But being that it can take 5.7, I'm like, okay, will it take 22 full auto? I'm just curious because that's a thing. So, yeah. Zane, were you going to say something?
I'm kind of with Tony. I'm very suppressor ignorant. I've only shot them at shoots and stuff. I don't own any. Like you said, the pricing looks fine.
Yeah.
As long as it's a good product, but it's gonna take them a while to grow their legs just because of the artificially inflated wait times by our fantastic government.
Exactly.
The only thing I don't see on here is, are these user serviceable?
I didn't see that either.
Now, he said you can clean them out. I watched their videos. I watched the videos they had on YouTube, and he said you can take the ends off and clean.
Which I would think with the way it looks like the 22 one for sure looks like it's got like a hex nut.
An end cap or something.
Yeah. So
when it comes to pistol caliber suppressors, you definitely want something you can take apart and clean.
Well,
because
22s,
pistol rounds are nasty, especially 22s. Those are just dirty.
The lead and dirt. Yeah, the one I use with my 22 is actually a 9mm suppressor, but I can use it on all kinds of things. It'll work.
The thing about rifles is they're pretty much going pretty fast, and unless you're using you're making your own rifle rounds with straight lead,
right,
you should be okay with a rifle.
Yeah, it's pistol and 22s are the worst. But with mine, I mean, it's a K-baffle design, and literally if I shoot 500 rounds of 22 through it, I literally have to soak it in solvent. And then pound it apart just because it's just to get the baffles out. It's great, but you can shoot 500 Full Metal Jacket 9mm and it's it falls apart.
All the suppressor manufacturers say, do not put your suppressors in a sonic cleaner. It's why? Because that's about the only way you're going to get that crap shook loose off of them.
Well, if they're stainless steel or something, I think you can. It's the aluminum ones that I don't believe you can. There's you can look on the internet to find out what's what, but exactly. Some people say no, some people say it's okay depending on what it's made. Okay, so I guess we are done with these stealth project suppressors.
I tell you what, I would love to get one for T&E. That'd be fun.
Yeah, maybe if somebody I bet could if they had like an SOT or something.
Yeah.
Wink.
If he ever finished his paperwork.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just saying.
I mean, the nice thing about the Okeechobee range that I use is they've got a class 3, and their policy is if you buy the suppressor from us, they'll let you use it while you're waiting for your tax
waiting
stamp.
because you pay for it anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, you just can't take it home.
Right.
You just go there, check it out, use it. When you're done, you bring it back, and they put it back in,
Right.
Back in the safe.
Yep. So
not to be political, and I don't want to be, but understand that politics and stupid laws is what's holding companies like this back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you could go,
It's also what's keeping the prices high. To be honest,
right. But even at these
So.
prices, if I could go to the local gun store and pay $10 for my background check, fill out a 4473 for it, and once I pass, walk away with it, even at these prices, or even if you had to pay the $200 tax stamp, right there, and all they do is just run the background check, and you walk away with it the same day. That would be so amazing, especially for these companies, because you would be able to not have to wait.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's neither here nor there right now, but
Yep.
Okay.
Just putting it out there that a $300 to $400 product that you can buy right now and check out right now is a lot easier to swallow than one you'll have to wait, add another $200 to, and get next year.
Exactly.
Oh, no, you got to pay the $200 up front.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. But you still get the gun get this suppressor next year.
Right. Exactly. So I also, next up, I put in Federal has a new personal defense Hydroshock Deep 380 round. Of course, it's like $26.99 a box MSRP. But, Zane's going to chime in on this, and I'm glad he will. But basically, this is their new Hydroshock round for like shorter barrels that will penetrate the 12 inches or more of bare gel for the FBI recommended tests. There's a link also to the Soldier Systems article in here, and they said their results were 13 to 13 and a half inches typically in bare gel, and they actually got more penetration through heavy clothing, which makes me think that it didn't expand as well. But
exactly.
They used compact handguns ranging from 2 3/4 to 3.5 inch barrels. So like a Ruger LCP has a 2 3/4 inch barrel, which was nice to know because that's mainly what people are going to shoot this out of. They're not going to shoot it out of like one of the 380 EZs. I'm not saying they won't, but a lot of times they're these super small pistols that people are using. So they did get that. That's kind of, if you go to the Soldier Systems article, they show it mushroomed out and it doesn't expand. It's folded back. So during the folding process, if you get a perfect, it might be larger, but when it's completely folded back and expanded, it doesn't expand huge amounts. But like I said, it does penetrate the FBI's recommended amount, which is something new for most 380 rounds, except, ball ammo and what Zane's going to say because it's funny. But I thought I'd throw it in here. One, it's summertime and some places people are carrying 380s and stuff because they're small and they can throw them in shorts and take them to the beach and stuff like that. So at least maybe now you can get a little better penetration out of a hollow point from somebody.
Yeah. So first of all, 13 to 13 and a half inches is barely passing. I like to be closer
Right.
to that 16 to 18, and I'm even okay with 19 to 20, just for reasons. So kind of what you alluded to. 380 is the only caliber I actually recommend people use Hydroshocks in. And the reason I do that is because it consistently fails to expand pretty reliably. This is the old Hydroshock, the original
The originals, yeah.
ones. And so when they fail to expand, which they tend to, they usually get about 16 inches of penetration. And because it is a self-defense round, it's made with a little bit higher quality control. It uses the nickel case instead of brass, right? So that's actually a round I recommend. With this one, with it expanding more reliably, which most people would say is good, you're giving up some penetration there. And the expansion is nothing I'm impressed with. It might expand to, from the picture, it looks like maybe 40 caliber. You're not getting HST, style expansion out of this. So I would probably still just go ahead and pass on this and shoot a good Full Metal Jacket or the older ones, just because I want that 16 inches of penetration. Most important thing in a handgun round is, for one, a reliable round, right? Got to go bang every time, which is why we use defensive ammunition. It's not just to get the expansion, right? We want that higher quality. There's a reason nobody uses well, I shouldn't say nobody. There's a reason you shouldn't use Winchester white box for your defensive ammo.
Right, and there's
one
a
of every
reason
box isn't going bang.
There's a reason a lot of defensive cartridges use like nickel cases and stuff like
Nickel's
that.
more lubrous, is that the word?
Yeah, that's
maybe?
I think so.
Yeah, so I would probably pass on this for the older stuff, just because it doesn't perform as well in expansion, right? So I don't know. I like the idea, and it does whatever, it passes. Cool. There's not a lot of 380 ammo out there for defensive use, so meh.
It is. I will mention it is a 99 grain bullet, and the muzzle velocity they say,
and that's about on par, isn't it? Isn't
like
about 100 grains?
Like I'm shooting the ones I have, because I don't. My 380 that I have is an LCP, and it's loaded with, what is it, Hornady FTX critical defense, and they're 90 grain. I'm with you. I'm like, it's a 380. I mean, I could probably load it with ball ammo and it's going to do the same amount of damage. Oh, yeah. It's like shot placement. Okay, I know that.
100%. I agree with Zane. I agree with you, Chad. 380 is dependent on just penetration, man. And go to Lucky Gunner Labs and check it out, because they've done the lab test already. They've done the gel test, and find what actually penetrates. And I think, again, like Zane said, deeper penetration is better. And great, they come up with something new. Doesn't mean it's better. Just means it's new.
Yeah. Time will tell if it's better or not.
And I'm not willing to be, and if I had a 380, I'm not willing to be their beta tester.
When you know there's stuff out there that does kind of what you want it to do.
I've been playing with an LCP here a little bit lately. In fact, I just got a custom holster in from our friends over at Black Rhino Concealment for it. So I might try to get me some gel and get my hands on some of these. Who knows? Maybe I'll feel spunky.
Yeah, and then you can take some of those clothes off the bodies that you hid in the alligators, and
I'm
wondering where you're going with that one.
Whoa. Okay.
It got real weird. It got real weight there all of a sudden.
I try to keep it light,
Yeah, I'm thinking about going into a 380 EZ, mainly because of the people, the demographic that I give classes to and introduce to firearms. It's a bigger gun, but it shoots 380, and it's easy shooting gun.
Yeah,
and
I would not be surprised if you see this perform extremely poorly in that gun because of the longer barrel. It's going to pick up more velocity and expand quicker. So I know that sounds very counterintuitive, but I know you guys understand, but to some of the listeners that may sound counterintuitive, but I would expect this to perform better in shorter barrels, penetration wise, than in longer
Can I throw
barrels.
something out there? Because since we're talking about the ballistic gel, ballistic gel shows you how that round performs in ballistic gel.
Yeah.
It's not telling you how it performs on a person.
No, it is definitely not a medium for the human body. It is a
Okay.
way to compare rounds to one another. And the FBI has come out and said between 12 and 18 inches of penetration in ballistic gel equals probably sufficient in a person, because I don't know too many people, maybe Tony aside, that's 12 to 18 inches thick. You know what I'm saying? But there's a reason that is, it is not, and like you said, it is not a direct replacement for the human body. It is a way to compare rounds against one another. And Lucky Gunner, like Tony mentioned, has a great explanation on this, far better than I could do.
Yeah,
so go check them
go
out.
check them out. Yes, definitely. They do. So we're done with our product spotlight now. We are still including listener feedback stuff from the Q&A episode. So this one is from Wesley A. And it's, for all of us. But it says, do you all carry a medical kit every day? If so, what's your preferred setup? And I am, a not so good person because I don't personally carry one on me. The med kits I have are in vehicles, or range bags, because I just don't. I mean, every once in a while, depending on circumstances, I might throw a tourniquet in a pocket or something. But especially if, there's no way for me to carry a firearm, then I can carry a tourniquet. At least I can stop my arm from bleeding, even though I can't shoot back. But that's me.
Well,
I
Chad,
know
I'm in the
Zane
same
does.
thing. I carry a couple medical med kits in my car. I've got a nice medical supplies in my house, and I know where I work. They've got medical kits all over the place. So I mean, I don't carry one on me personally, but again, I've got access to them, and I know where to go to get them.
Right.
Well, I work in and out of prison, so no, I do not carry it on my person while I'm at work. But I carry it in work. I have it in my backpack at all times. I have a tourniquet, and I have just a cuts, scrapes, bruises kind of first aid kit, not a trauma kit. So yeah, have the tourniquet, have a first aid kit,
Yeah,
don't have a trauma kit.
Mine are kind of combos, like in the car. They have tourniquet, Israeli bandages, of course, all the other, stuff you'd need, band-aids, gauze, stuff like that. But
Matthew Dropko said Dark Angel Medical is having summer sales.
yeah.
So if you guys, if
I'm
they
about
are,
to check that out.
Go check it out, because I'm thinking right now ranges are closed in Jersey. I'm not going to segue into that. I'll wait until the end of the thing. But I got with somebody that's allowing me to host events at their business center. And right now I have William April with April Consulting coming to Jersey. And I might talk to Sean from We Like Shooting and see if he can do a medical class here in Jersey too, since I have a place that we can host it and it's not a range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I do carry a trauma kit on my person every day, and I also have a second one in the vehicle. I also live way far away, and I have a third one not too far from my house in a fire truck that I can get to. That one's pretty extensive. So usually I would go most likely to least likely, and that's kind of how I base my decisions. But with medical, it's a little different. I go with what takes the least amount of time to kill you to what takes the most amount of time. And I kind of stack it on that. So on body, I carry a tourniquet, a cat tourniquet, because I find those the easiest to self-apply. They don't pack down as small as some others. I carry some combat gauze, some regular Celox gauze, have a single chest seal, and a pair of gloves. And then in my vehicle kit, I have a duplicate of that. But I also have a Softy wide, which I find easier to put on other people. Israeli bandages, 3 or 4 more chest seals, a metric S-ton of more gauze. Just because there's a lot of times I find myself an hour and a half away from an ambulance. So, And most people, I don't think chest seals are necessary for most people, even though most likely place someone's going to be shot would be the chest. Tension Nemo takes a while to set in. If you
Right.
go take a good medical class, you'll know what that means and understand how that works. So yeah, I carry my medical kit on my ankle, unless I'm wearing shorts, which happens in Florida, and then I throw it in a cargo pocket.
Yep. Yeah, sounds good. So, another question. This one's kind of funny. This is from Bill P. Okay, two questions really. What is the most overrated modern pistol? We'll start with that one. I'm sure I know what Tony's is. All I'm gonna see, and because I am who I am, I'm gonna say it's the Kimber 1911s.
I vote for Springfield XD.
Okay. And Zane, do you have one?
Well, since y'all took my first two, I'll go with the Taurus G2.
Okay.
Well, Zane, you could just say the whole Taurus line too.
Fair.
Fair. Tony, I know what you're gonna say because we talked about it yesterday.
HK MP5.
The new pistol version they import.
The new
right?
pistol version of it, the old pistol version of it, any pistol version of it, it's a horrible pistol. It's a horrible pistol.
And HK hates her customers.
HK
Yeah,
hates
but
you.
it's a HK. Germans make the best stuff.
I'm like I'm not going to say the only reason you're getting that HK MP5 pistol, or civilian version, semi-automatic only, is because they either U.S. Navy SEALs or Die Hard. You're getting it to be a range gun. There are a lot better guns out there. You can get multiple guns you can get for the price. Multiple pistols you can get, again, for the price if it's just a pistol. If you're buying an arm brace for it, then that changes things a little bit, but you can put that same flux brace on a P320 and again spend a third of the money. So, yeah, I mean, hey, love it, hate it, whatever, but it's totally overrated for what it actually is. But as a range gun, as cosplay, I'm sorry, LARPing.
Yeah, if you want an MP5, just buy one of the like Humorex Air BB ones. You can at least get full auto out of it.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. I mean, look, not crapping on it, but it's severely overrated because you're measuring it against something that you actually don't have in your possession. You're measuring it against the MP5s that the military and police units use, but that ain't what you got.
And that really don't use them anymore because, that was an 80s thing. We use carbines now.
Yeah. I mean, you should be as geeked up about using an Uzi. I mean, it's the same thing. So, yeah, it's outdated. It's something that you've romanticized, and it's still not the thing that the military actually used. I'm not saying it's garbage. I'm not degrading it in any way. I'm just saying it's overrated.
Yep, I gotcha. Okay.
True.
Next part of that question. Our next question. So he says, if Springfield Armory made an axe, this is because I put all those axes in there, I'm sure, would it pay off politicians to make all other axe manufacturers illegal?
Well, if past performance is in the indication of future,
Performance, yes.
Yeah.
I'd throw their axe once as far as I could.
And then it might break though.
well, you better make sure.
What happens, Zane, is when you cock the axe back to throw it, the head would fly off behind you about 50 yards.
What would happen is he couldn't throw it because the grip safety wouldn't work.
Oh, it's a good one.
Nice.
Hey, can we jump back to the medical thing real quick? Something I left out. So, in all honesty, one of the most important things you can know how to do is CPR.
Yes.
So for the listeners who don't know, I am on a volunteer fire department, and by the time the fire and medics show up, there's a good chance it's too late because you got to get that heart pumping really within 2 minutes. Within 6 minutes, if compressions hasn't been started, the likelihood of that person making it is extremely low. So the faster someone can get hands on, and you don't have to do mouth to mouth. Compression only. Go take a free I think they
Yeah.
Red Cross does them for free, maybe not. I don't know, but they're not expensive either way.
Either way, they're not expensive.
Learn how to
correct.
pump on somebody's chest. Like that's really one of the biggest pieces of medical knowledge you can have. It's just knowing
Right.
how to pump on someone's chest.
Well, and as you know, and I'm trying to remember mine, but even without mouth to mouth, because you're pumping on their chest, it's moving slight amounts of air in and out.
Well, and so
If
the
they're
thing is that
because you
So the
tilt their
biggest
head
thing
back,
is
and yeah,
so the biggest thing is even without doing a head tilt chinless, you can go a lot longer without air than you can without blood to the brain.
right.
So after about 6 minutes, that blood needs to start being oxygenated, that's really when. Now this is for adults, which is usually who
Right.
needs CPR. We're talking about children. Rescue breaths are a little bit more important. Again, go take a good CPR class.
Yeah, they're
You'll save more lives with CPR than you probably ever will with a tourniquet. But at the same time, I've used both. So I've used tourniquets, I've used CPR on people. So So
yeah,
there's that.
yeah. I gotcha. Oh, and the last thing about med kits, I've learned this from people. Always carry Skittles.
You know what?
Hey,
100% carry Skittles for diabetics like myself. I have
exactly.
I have them in my bag. I have them in my med kit. I have them in my what do you call that? A glove compartment in my car because that scared the living crap out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, and for the rest of us, if we just want a little snack,
That's true. For the
Exactly.
rest of you can eat it. I don't even eat candy.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the other
yeah.
makes me think I probably need to look into getting a med kit for when I ride my motorcycle.
Yes, because
So the guy I used to tourniquet on was a motorcycle accident. 100%.
Yep, exactly. So Tony, guess what? You actually get to tell us something now.
Woohoo! August 20th is the very first. The second is for everyone diversity shoot to be held in Pennsylvania. And it's going to be held at the Heritage Guild in Easton, PA. So those tickets will be out for sale by this weekend on Eventbrite, and we'll be at Easton at the Heritage Guild hosting the first diversity shoot post-COVID. So yes, the range requires you to wear a mask. So we have room for over 100 people in this particular location, but I'm still only putting 40 tickets out for sale because I want you to have the choice to social distance or not. Plus, we have to get our sea legs under us to find out how we're going to run events again post COVID, how comfortable people are, both in the booths when we're shooting on the range and in the classroom. So again, August 20th, go to diversityshoot.com. It'll be up there by this weekend. And second is for everyone on Facebook. So that's what's happening. I also have an event with Dr. William April's consulting, April Consulting. And Dr. William April talks about a lot of mindset, criminal mindset, your mindset as a defender. He does really great classes. You can hear him on Practically Tactical. You can hear him on Primary and Secondary. Google him. Also follow April Consulting on Instagram. He has really good information he puts out there. Not You Tuesday, Fight Back Friday, with articles about people that actually fought off criminals. Reason I'm saying this is we're having a class in Jersey. It's gonna be on the 15th of August. Did I say April for both of those times, or did I say August?
August, I
No,
thought.
you said
All right.
August for that, and
Cool.
April as April
I'm sorry.
was consulting.
Okay, that's why I count. I'm like, where the heck did I hear April?
You're confused.
I'm confusing myself. So those tickets and everything is going to be on sale, but I just want people to know we're giving out information in Jersey. We can't do the range thing because of the capacity limitations put on by the governor. But Pennsylvania doesn't have such restrictions, and also Pennsylvania have suppressors, and Pennsylvania has full auto at their place. So I'm working on that too at a diversity shoot. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see everyone there. Again, go to diversityshoot.com. Check us out at Second is for Everyone on Facebook. Simon Says Train on Instagram. Second is for Everyone on Twitter. And of course, the 2A4E podcast will probably be out this weekend. I have to calm down and not snap and not say curse words. So that has been affecting me. The latest news has been really affecting me from the government and from the newspapers.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for that, Tony. Now we can get into our wrap up. Send questions, comments, feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Of course, tell all your friends about us because, that'll help us grow. Go pledge your support at gunandgearcult.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Also, check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Don't forget to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, of course, at Firearms Insider. And as always, thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Peace.